In this video, we're going to focus on how we can create 2 lines or extra data on the Y scale, where we have here the value and of course a percentage. As you can see here, we get here just the basic values, but the percentage will be shown here side by side. So let's start to look how we can add the extra labels. So to do that, make sure you first have the boiler template, which you can find here on chartjs3.com getting started. Once you scroll down here, copy this chunk of code and you're good to go. If you want to get the source code of this video and many others, check out my Patreon page and of course join the Discord channel. All these links are in the description box. So what we're going to do here is basically swap first these two, so we have a horizontal bar chart. So we go in here in the options, we will say index, axis, and then we set this to Y, save, refresh. There we are. Now what I want to do is I want to get the value, in this case number 18, shown underneath here, and then have a pipe or a straight line, and then add up here the percentage of whatever the value is. So in this case this is 100%, but this here would be 40, 50, 60, whatever. So let's start to work on that. To do that, we'll need to go into the ticks, and within the ticks we have the callback functionality. I'm going to say a callback, and I'm going to type in here function, and I'm doing this on purpose because I will use later on a specific functionality that will only work if we use this function command. So we're going to say here the value I want to grab, I want to get the index, and I get here all the values. By doing this here, what I want to do now is, first of all, I want to make sure we return the value. Or let me just show you. Well, let's return value for now. Save, refresh. Once we return that, what is happening? We only get the index numbers. So what we can do here is convert this into the right value. So what I'm going to say here, this dot get the label for value of whatever this value is on the y-axis. Save that, refresh, there we are. This command is a special built-in chart.js functionality, very important. Because we're using the this, and this is only allowed because we have here the function. So make sure you pay attention on that. So what I want to do next is get the value of the bar. So how do we do that? Because if I go here on console log, we only get the index number, as you can see here. And if I get the index here, another one is the values, would probably list the entire array of values and the label. Well, alright. So what I want to do here is get the labels here. Well, not specifically labels, I need to get the values that will match on, well, it's not even here, I realize. We need to see if we can find it inside. There's nothing here. I need to go and get the data points here. So to do this, I need to use another this functionality. So what we're going to do here now, we're going to say in this chart, and then if I save this, refresh, we have now access to the chart object. This is very useful for us because now we are allowed to go into the data. Let's see here, we should have here some of the data sets, the data object, and in this data object with the data sets, and we can get all the values matching with these bars. So I'm going to say it chart.data.data sets index 0, and then .data, and if I save this, refresh, we're getting now a full array of the values. What I need here is to extract the specific value, which is the highest one, in this case number 18. So how can we do that? Well, what we can do here is the following. I'm going to say a constant max, and then the max value, or we say maybe max value. And then in here, what I want to do here is the math.max, and we're going to extract this array in array. Because we're doing that, I need to use the rest operator, or else it cannot read this. It needs to know that this is an array, and then it will extract the highest value from there. In this case, that should be number 18. So let's copy that, paste that in there. There you are. You can see it shows now the number. So what I need to do next is get the current value. So if this is 18, alright, this one here will be divided by 18, and then we get the percentage. So what I'm going to say here, constant data point will be equal to what exactly? Almost the same logic here. We can copy all of this, but then we say here the index value that it is in. Once we have this, we can now calculate the percentage. Say constant percentage equals the data point divided by the max value. Once we got that, we now have two parts already. So we have the value. So what I need to do next now, right, if I do a console log, you should see here immediately we get the percentage, and probably we should do here multiply by 100. Save, refresh. So once I get that, we get all of these, but as you can see here, we need to trim down this item. I'll do that later on, where we just only get a single digit. Well, we will fix that later on. So what I want to do here now is first getting the text labels between here, or at least the information. To do that, we have this return here, but I need to have another line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an array out of this. And then I'm going to say here, comma, and then what I'm going to put in here is the values. But because these values here need string in combination, so what I'm going to say here is the following, backtick. So we have template literals. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this data point here. I want to show the data point first, which is $, this as a value. Then I want to have a straight line or a pinstripe or pipe, whatever they call that. And then we're going to get here the percentage. The percentage here will be again a $, value, because it's a constant, and then we put in here percentage. Save, refresh. Alright, as you see here, it's working with the exception of trimming down the percentages correctly. So what I'm going to do here for the percentage, or we could even do it here above. Well, no, I guess we can do it in here. Dot to fixed, and put it only one decimal or how many decimals you want. Save, refresh, and there we are. That looks phenomenal.